Good morning. Welcome to 365 Days of Amazing Stories with Theo Mayer. Here I am continuing the story, the history of Whittington. Dick Whittington. He'd given his cat over to the merchant to take trading. All of his servants had given something, and he'd given his cat away. Fortunately, Miss Alice, the merchant's daughter, had given him enough money to buy another cat. The cat now is off on its way to who knows where, being blown across the ocean. And if you've ever sailed, you know that the wind can blow quite hard. The waves can be quite big. And in spite of all that, you can adjust your sails and decide where to go, to some extent. Now, our boat was sent, on its course across the sea from one land to another. And when they finally saw land in the distance, they came unto its shores and landed in a safe harbor upon the shores of Africa, where they had never been before. They were greeted warmly by the people that were there and led quickly to the king and queen of that land. Well, through various ways of communicating, the king understood that these men were there to trade. He put them up, and over the course of the next number of days, the king would look at the treasures that the merchant would bring ashore to show him. He was delighted with everything, and at one point in time, asked to be taken onto the boat to see what was left. After seeing this, he said that he would take everything. Now, over the course of time, they had begun to understand each other better, and words were not such a bar for communication. The merchant, Fitzwarren, being a very quick learner, soon was a master of that language. Now, it turned out that the king and queen had a problem. They had invited Fitzwarren and his second in command to come to dinner. And when they did, an incredible feast was laid out before them. But no sooner were they ready to dive into this than a horde of rats and mice appeared, defiling the food and eating very much of it before anyone could do anything at all. In fact, no one knew what to do. Rats were big, seemed to protect the smaller mice, and before you know it, all the food was gone. The king and queen lamented and shared with Fitzwarren that this was indeed a problem that they were unable to understand or rectify. Fitzwarren now, his mind went to Whittington's offering, the cat. He told the king and the queen, "I, in fact, have an animal on board the vessel which will take care of your problem completely." The king and queen did not believe their ears and said, "If you indeed do have such an animal, well, it is priceless. If you can solve this problem of the rats and the mice with an animal, I will give you half of my riches." Well, Fitzwarren had his second in command, with some other men, go fetch the cat and bring it. Another feast was prepared, and by evening, it was ready. As it was put down, the cat was released, and as the rats and the mice came, the cat sprang upon them with a vengeance, killing many immediately, and putting the others to chase. Tears streamed from the queen's eyes. You can imagine living with these kinds of rodents. They disturbed their sleep. They ruined their food. They chewed up their precious clothing, bedding, and they were almost impossible to repel. And here, in a moment, this cat had wreaked vengeance upon all of these creatures. The king and the queen offered half, their riches if they could have this cat. Fitzwarren added to the bargain and said, "Look, on our passage over, this cat, it birthed kittens. I can leave you not just this cat, but many others, which will make your problem go away, probably forever." King and queen were delighted. Fitzwarren did not ask for more than what had originally been offered, half the king and queen's wealth. The cats were delivered, and I can tell you that in that land there was not a problem with rats or mice again. After many weeks of enjoyable time with the king and the queen, Fitzwarren knew that it was again time to go, to leave, head back to England. They stowed everything on board that they had traded and set sail. And we'll leave the story there.